What's up, guys? This is Leo, the Hungry Fan, and today I'm gonna give my prediction of the Spain versus Belgium game. So, real quick, just to run through the teams real fast. By the way, I'm eating some empanadas here. It's delicious. Mayo sriracha on the VS will see it. But anyways, real quick, so I'm just gonna run through the team. So, Spain's group in the World Cup was Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia, and Uruguay. As I'm looking right here, first game, as we all know, Spain dominated the first game, but couldn't score. That ended up in a 0-0 draw between the two because just Cape Verde's goalie just became Superman that day. Second game, they let off some steam. They won 4-0 against Saudi Arabia. Again, just completely dominating, 21 to 3 shots, dominating possession. And then the last game, they got a 1-0 win against Uruguay, which I think, out of all the games, that was probably the worst one they played in the group stage. I mean, very even game. Spain did have more possession, but overall, that was a game that I feel like Uruguay had a fair chance of actually winning that game. And of course, we all know like the goalie's blunder that allowed Spain to let me push this back a little bit. Sorry, that allowed Spain to get the 1-0 win. In the round of 32, they played Austria, a 3-0 win. Pretty expected. I didn't really think Austria would do much against them. In the last game, round of 16, they eliminated Portugal in a very at times I would even say kind of a boring game that game was. Thankfully, towards the end of the game, the substitute was able to the sub for Spain was able to put the 1-0 win in off the assist from the other substitute, Ferran Torres, who I think is a huge guy off their bench. Every time he comes off their bench, he makes a big play that helps them win or he scores. So overall, I think Spain has done pretty solid in this World Cup. At times, I feel like they do have some issues scoring. Lamine Yamal has not really been too big of a factor. Not like we expected him to be. So overall, I feel like they do struggle to score at some point, but what they do have is they do have a very good defense, as they have yet to let up a goal in this World Cup. So, I mean, that's very important because it just shows that they're a very difficult team to score on, and they can also score when it's needed. I just feel like against Portugal, they kind of had a bit of a tough time trying to get through. Same with Cape Verde. Like I feel like when teams, D up on them a little more, and get physical with them, generally they tend to struggle because they're not really known to be a big physical team or to like to get into those types of physical matches. They like to be more finesse and possession and move the ball around. I feel like when teams get physical, like when they played Uruguay and Uruguay got physical with them, they kind of had a hard time getting through. So, delicious. So now we're going to break through. We're going to take a look at Belgium's group real fast. Well, Belgium had a bit of a rough start. They tied 0-0 against Iran. Oh, no, sorry. Their first game was against Egypt. They tied 1-1 against Egypt. They tied 0-0 against Iran. And then in a heroic game, because they were about to be eliminated, or at least be a best third, they defeated New Zealand 5-1. So Belgium, again, another team, they do have some good pieces. for quite some time now. They've been a legitimate team. They've had some good World Cup runs. I feel like when they get to a certain extent, they can't seem to push past. I think I don't know if it was in I want to say Russia or 2014 in Brazil where they had that semifinal run and they had that third place. That as of now has been their best run, but they are a team that the past like 7, 8, 9 years, I mean, or even more, have improved a lot and are a force to be reckoned with. They're a tough team. They're a team that now in the World Cup, I mean, you're going to be at some point meeting them in the knockout stages, and they are a very difficult team. Have a lot of firepower, very speedy at any point, can put on a scoring clinic. It just again another team that sometimes can be rather inconsistent. Some games they show up and they destroy you, like the U.S. game, where also I feel like they were motivated by extra factors. But they show up a game like that and they just completely destroy the team. They just completely overpower this team and completely dominate them. And then you have games where you kind of feel like, man, like they have more to give. Like they don't really show up every game. So yeah, I could say they are a rather inconsistent team. They did finish top of the group though with 5 points with Egypt. But I believe they are a bit of an inconsistent team at times. So I'm gonna look real quick at some of the facts between these teams. So they say most of the games between these two teams usually ends up in Spain winning 2-0. But here's a very interesting fact that I have just found out. When Belgium usually leads 1-0, usually away, but when they lead 1-0, they tend to win 100% of those matches. And this is the most interesting one, is that when they tend to go down 1-0, 50% of the time they turn that around. But usually if Spain is winning, they tend to win. So it's very interesting how it's going to be a game between when the team starts off winning, they usually keep the lead, versus a team that when they start off losing, there's a 50% chance that they tie that up and could potentially turn it around. So again, really excited for this game. I hope it doesn't let me down like the France-Morocco game, because nothing with France, but I was kind of annoyed at Morocco, to be honest with you, because I just felt like they just came up like really flat. So if I had to give my prediction right now, sorry, my empanada is just like falling apart right now, but it's so delicious and the sriracha mayo is so good. It makes everything taste so good. It's got like a smooth spice to it. But anyways, if I had to pick my winner, honestly, I'm not picking a winner. I think what's going to happen today is it's going to be a 1-1 draw, and I think, okay, I will pick a winner. It's a 1-1 draw, and then Spain's going to win in penalties. I don't want to be too exact, but just to throw something out, I think they'll win 5-4. So I think it's going to be a 1-1 tie. It's going to go into PKs, and I think Spain's going to beat them in PKs. I don't think any of them are going to beat each other in the game. I think it's going to be, hopefully, an exciting game. I think this is going to be the first goal of the tournament. The team with whom Spain gives up the first goal of the tournament. So I like the way both these teams play. I feel like Belgium can be a bit more dynamic, but like I said, it's sometimes inconsistent and disorganized. Whereas I feel like sometimes Spain is organized and consistent, but sometimes, man, they just play very slow. I feel like they got to be a bit more vertical and a bit more dynamic. Spain just loves to pass that thing around. I hope we can see a good game from Lamine Yamal today, who has had a tough time in this World Cup. I mean, clearly because defenses are scheming for him. So also Belgium has a super sub who used to be a starter and one of my favorite forwards, Romelu Lukaku. He's been coming off the bench and scoring. So something to look out for when he steps in. He's usually trying to score a goal out here, and he usually does. But like I said, I feel like Belgium plays a lot quicker. They're more dynamic, more vertical, more intentional with what they do. They get on counters. They like to get on counters. They're fast. They're solid over the top. Solid with possession too, but I feel like they like to play fast, make fast passes, and break through. And they do love going on counters, and their counters are they're very good at countering. So I would expect that. Spain, on the other hand, like I said, more slower, more possession team, more team that likes to take their time. But like I said, when they break into the boxes and they do those little 1-2, those little give and goes in the box, I mean, those are lethal as well. And they have a solid forward like Yarzabal, who, he doesn't need many touches to pull one away, and he's a good forward in the box. And at times, they do seem to find them when they break free on the wings and they get those crosses. Usually they cross on the ground. They usually don't cross over the top because they're not necessarily a tall team. So I expect also another super sub, Ferran Torres, to come in. He comes off the bench and always does a great job for them off the bench. So to me, it's going to be a very interesting game, a good game. Um, Teams that do have a pretty different style from each other, but as two European teams, they face each other. They have faced each other, so they know each other, which makes it a bit more difficult. But like I said, my prediction today is a 1-1 game, and Spain beats them out in penalties. So that is my prediction. So anyway, guys, this is Leo the Hungry Man, where we enjoy food and talk about sports. And after the game, expect probably tomorrow a post-game reaction, and then I will do a separate video of pre-game reaction and prediction of the England-Norway game, which I am just so excited about. But yeah, so thank you guys so much. Please comment, share, subscribe. I love you guys. You guys are great. Thank you.